Another thing that he said is that an employee said that I was vindictive at the previous place that I worked. This, now remind you, this is all the way back from 2012 to 2016. There were two different employees that I knew that were at that other company that was merging, and I knew that that might be a problem. But I didn't have any run-ins with one of them, but he was very good friends with the other person that was in management now. So I'm pretty sure that he poisoned that person's ears related to me. They worked together for years at that other company, and then whenever this person went away and stole a lot of customers and stole a lot of the employees, that person being one of them, when they started their own pool company, which I didn't do, by the way, when we started our own pool company. I left in January of 2016 with zero customers. And I didn't solicit any of the employees. So I left how I wanted somebody to leave me. I left on good terms. I wasn't soliciting, wasn't secretly telling people stuff that I was being vindictive on or something. I asked about that. I was like, really? What? What specifically? Didn't give me an answer. Didn't tell me who said it. Even though the person, by the time we talked in June, the person was already gone. But wouldn't give me specific examples. I gave that person a number of a manager that I worked with before over there, that we worked with for years, to call him and see if there was any validity to that, or if that was just made up stuff and poison from those people that had run-ins with over there. And we had run-ins because they weren't doing their paperwork. So I said I wasn't going to give you more jobs until you filled out your paperwork so that I could do my paperwork and bill the customers. It's as simple as that. Is that being vindictive? No. I wasn't vindictive to people. And so that bothered me because that's not how I operate. I do have standards, and then I'm going to hold the employees, I'm going to hold the same standards to every employee. Even my own sons have worked for me. And I even tell them, I don't believe in the whole nepotism thing. Everybody else has a certain standard, but that person can get away with murder because, he's the boss's son. No, that's not how I run stuff. I told my son straight out, if you ever work for me, you have the exact same standards. I don't cut you any slack. I've written my oldest son up before, and I said 2 more instances of write-ups like this, I'll have to let you go. It's the exact same thing that I did with other people. So just because I hold people to standards, and especially my own kids, whenever I do that, you should know that I'm not showing favoritism to anybody. I hold everybody to the same standards. And so that's just yet another vague thing. He wouldn't give me what was said so that I could defend myself, and even go to ask that previous manager about this circumstance to verify, was this vindictive, or is this just a made up circumstance? So it's just sort of, like I say, I go through those different things, and it's difficult for me to swallow, because it all seemed that it's happened, and I got manipulated and used in the process. It seemed that we were going to be working together for years, and the person said, hey, I'm sorry we ended up here, but we ended up here. But there was no communication. I communicate constantly to the technicians. If I'm going to let somebody go, by the time I let somebody go, there's emails and texts and videos and screenshots and quality checks behind people showing that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. There was one meeting in June, and there was supposed to be a follow-up meeting in the end of July. That didn't happen. And then now, at the beginning of October, you're gone. So, wow, that was a real surprise. I thought, as I was trying to fight it, then I thought about, I called up a firm locally. It was an HR lawyer, and they wanted $500. I mean, man, if you can become a lawyer, I don't know how in the world they charge these kind of fees. But the HR lawyer wanted $500 just to talk to me, and I had 1 hour. $500 just to talk before they even heard anything. Because I don't know if even in an at-will state, is there a wrongful termination? Is there a possible wrongful termination kind of something that we could get into? Not that I want to go that direction, but it just caught me out of left field. All the information and all the feedback that I had gotten was positive. And so So I didn't spend the $500 because I told the person, I mean, you're talking about $500. What if, is it prorated for the hour? If we talk for 10 minutes and you say, I'm sorry, you don't have a case, I can't help you, then, I spent $75 or, you know, and they said, no, it's $500. And if you only talk for 15 minutes, you only talk for 15 minutes. Wow. Okay. So maybe I should have looked into fighting it more. But ultimately, it came down to God's not surprised of this. I can find other work. I can even start another pool company if I want to after the non-compete's over. That's a little over 3 years from now. Well, basically 3.5. Maybe God's has something else for me planned. Well, I know He does, and I just don't know what it is yet. Some other place of employment. So, and ultimately, it's I don't want. I really lost respect for the person. And when I lose respect for somebody, I don't feel that they communicated appropriately to me. They didn't care for me in the way that I've tried to care for other employees and communicate with them. Even though he said that he did, he believes that he did. I don't think that he did. But ultimately, I don't want to be somewhere where I can't be somewhere where I don't respect the leader. I can't follow them. And then secondly, if my leadership is not wanted, fine, I'll go somewhere else. So that's where I'm at. This is October 2024. My last day was the October the 11th, 2024, at that company. So that's kind of where we're at. Just wanted to get all that out there, and then I'll make some subsequent videos related to business lessons and stuff. But something that I do want to know, if any of you are connected to HR kind of people and are familiar with more of that kind of stuff as far as wrongful termination, it's all over now because I resigned. Once you resign, you give up any rights to anything, really. I think so. Not that I wanted to fight it and make things ugly, but it was just difficult. It was a difficult process to go through that week. I was very angry, and really most of the next week trying to figure out what I could do to get back at the person, and can't do anything right now, and that's okay. I'm gonna swallow it. I'm gonna eat it. Like I said, it's humbling, but I'm gonna still do the right thing in the eyes of God, because I do believe that Jesus is alive. He has died for my sins. Was I perfect at the company? No, I wasn't perfect. Am I perfect in my everyday life? No. And so that's why the blood of Christ has to cover my sins and my faults, and then I'm made right before God every day. My salvation is secure in Him, but my everyday maintenance of my relationship with Him, if I mess up, big or small, then my maintenance of my relationship with God has to be maintained. And so that confession before Him, that humbling before Him, that reporting to Him, saying, what do you have for me today, God? How can I honor you in my business dealings today? How can I honor you as I interact with people each day? And I tried to do that. Did I do that perfectly? No. Did I do things that should have gotten me let go? No. I think back, maybe I could have fought it and said, okay, what were the dates? Because he wouldn't have had that information. Okay, you said I wasn't available. What were the dates and who were the customers that couldn't get a hold of me? What were the dates and who were the technicians who couldn't get a hold of me for an hour while I was at basketball practice? He wouldn't have had those dates. What was asking him? What were the things? What was this plan? You didn't give me how was it laid out as far as the things that he said? You were vindictive, okay, at some previous employer before you ever knew me, and I didn't even have a chance to defend myself about certain specifics. Also, I need to be more available. what did that look like? What were the parameters that you laid out that I didn't meet? Because you didn't lay them out. It was just a vague thing. And then and be more available, help more is the other thing. And so what does that look like? I mean, I was available to help more. I mean, I was available to help whenever needed. So it was just vague stuff. What was the things that you laid out that I wasn't, specific things, not just vague things? What were the things that were laid out that I was failing at? And how was I failing? You know, that's where we're at. So decided not to fight that. Like I said, I think that I did everything that I could. I definitely had a lot of hard work. Merging the two companies was very, very difficult. I almost had a sort of a stress breakdown in October because we started new software and getting that switched over. I had to train the people. I was still doing the billing. I was still entering chemicals. I was still hiring people. I was still training people. I was still reacting to problems with pools. I was still answering questions from technicians. I did everything. And so I wasn't normal in October. Like by the time that we launched it, it really took me all of October to mentally de-stress. That was in 2023. I think I was very close to having a stress breakdown. Because I got to a point, every little thing was just so much effort in the beginning of October. And I just was not normal. I just couldn't hardly handle anything more.